Welcome to the Team Elevate team call. It is the 22nd of October. We have a fire call tonight. I just want to come on here and say, like, if you guys don't go to live events, why? Going to live events, and I'm not going to lie, as a new coach, I was like so afraid to get to them, but going to live events lights a flame in your belly that you cannot feel from a computer screen. I know some of you guys get off of this call and you guys tag me in these posts that you're so fired up, you're so hyped up, but there is nothing like getting to an event. And how perfect that we actually have Super Saturday in 2 weeks from now. No matter where you are on this planet, there is a Super Saturday event at least a couple hours from you. And chances are it's probably within like 30 miles from you if you live near any type of city. We have coaches probably in almost every state now, which is incredible to say. But we have coaches probably in every state, and every single one of you guys do have a local event in your area. I know some of you guys travel 2 hours to go to them and you never regret it because you feel such a flame when you get there. It's one thing to like be on social media and feel a movement, but it's another thing to be in a group or a room with other people who feel that same passion. It's like nothing you've ever felt before. And if there's one mistake that I made as a brand new coach, it was not getting to one sooner because I was so afraid of being on my own. But find a local Super Saturday in your area. I actually want you to just take a second to tell me where you're going in the chat, what event you are going to, in what city. If you are from the Rochester, Buffalo, any like Southern Tier area, Finger Lakes area, I will be speaking at the Rochester Super Saturday. So you better make sure to get your booty there. And then we're doing like a meet and greet after. So we'll be able to network as a team. It'll be a lot of fun. Seattle, St. Petersburg, LA. Heck yeah. So cool. DC, I love it. So just make sure you guys get to an event, okay? I'm going to share my screen, and we are going to pop into a little bit of recognition. All right, so we are having an awesome October. I hope that you guys are really setting your intentions. We just got off of the Coach Basics call, and we talked about how when you push for the money and you push for the points and you push for the volume, and that's your main focus, the success doesn't follow, right? If you become obsessed with those things, it's the best way to fail and become frustrated in this business. But if you focus on the mission, that Beachbody's mission, Carl Deichler, when he started this company 20 years ago, his mission was not to make $1 billion with a network marketing company. His mission was to reach people and help them live healthy, fulfilling lives. And these people on this board, their goal every single morning isn't to make $50 in commission. Their goal isn't to make $1 million this year. Their goal is to change lives. And so when you lead with that in your heart, the success starts to follow. And so far we've changed 243 lives. If you are somebody who has written off Success Club so far this month, if you're somebody who is like, oh, it'll happen next month, girl, you still have 10 days left in the month, or 9 days left in the month. You could hit Success Club 3 times over. Whether you're a brand new coach, whether you've been a coach for 4 years, you could hit Success Club 3 times over. I need you to believe that. I was just telling the girls that we have something incredible. We have a silver platter for $160, which is all access to the workouts and nutrition for a whole year, and your first month of Shakeology for $160. People pay that to go to 1 month of a class that they usually don't even show up to. They probably go 2 times a week. Or 2 times a week, 2 times a month. You have something in your pocket, in your toolkit, that has the ability to change a F-ton of lives. I know it because my life has been totally transformed by it. And so I'm never afraid to invite because I know the opportunity that I have and what it has to do for other people. So I need you guys to pave this fear out of the way, say goodbye to it, throw it out the window, and
No, we're not. We're not doing shit together.
Make sure you're muted. But you have this opportunity to share like wildfire. Deal? Okay, a special shout out to the coaches who have already hit Success Club 10 this month. Michelle Cahill, Aubrey Campbell, Lacey Peasley, Emmy Hossman, Meg Wortham, I almost said Maggie Wortham, Meg Jones, Caitlin Taft with 12, Meg Jones with 12, I'm sorry, with 13, Sydney Thompson, Chloe Gambro with 14, myself with 18, Cassie with 22, and Kate with 24. And then our beautiful coach of the week this week is Olivia Brackett, who has been with me for about 3.5 years now, who is just come back stronger than ever. She is developing leaders in her downline. She hit Success Club this month, and she is just, she's just becoming herself again on social media. And it's really special for somebody who was my OG coach, one of my OG coaches, to just see that fire ignited back in her belly is really special. So she is our coach of the week this week. So moving on, for those of you who did not know, Kate, Michelle, and I went to leadership this past weekend. We had this incredible opportunity to go to the event this past weekend. And this is actually my second event. And what leadership is, it's the top 5-star coaches in the company and above. They are invited to this event, all expenses paid, for 4 days. And if you're an elite coach, you get an extra day paid for it, an extra night paid for. All meals are covered. All alcohol is covered. Like literally, I did not swipe my card one single time while I was there. And we stayed at probably the nicest resort in all of Scottsdale. Good news is that we're actually going back next year, so all of you guys have an opportunity to be there. My one thing that I kept saying throughout the entire trip was I can't wait to bring a whole freaking crew of us there next year. But it is just like, it just takes Summit and it just takes it to a whole new level. Now you take Summit where you're surrounded by new coaches, middle coaches, new coaches at all different levels, and you go to leadership and you're just with the top of the company. I think there were 500 coaches there, and it's all of the top producing coaches in the company. And so you're learning like crazy, you're networking, you're igniting this bigger flame in your belly. And more than anything, you're just coming home with a whole different energy, because where I'm spending all of my time leading you guys, I get to go to an event where I'm being led by the top of the company. And it's just a really great way to kind of like push the reset button. And it was probably one of the best weekends in my business that I've ever had. So tonight, the three of us, we want to talk about what we learned on this trip. And we want this call to be fire. We want you guys to feel as though you were there on this trip with us. I want you guys to put all your distractions away and just take the next like 30 to 40 minutes to just listen to us. We are the top coaches, a couple of the top coaches on Team Elevate, and we want to bring home to you what we learned so that we can duplicate that onto you guys. Deal? Okay, so we're going to talk about what we learned, what hit home for us, and what we can pass on to you. And so, Kate, I'm going to let you talk about product and program launches, because you're the queen of launches. And then I will go into my calendar.
Cool. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Hey guys, yeah, I got my crew here. They're all scattered around. Okay, so I'm just going to pull up my notes for this one just so I don't miss anything. But the first thing, I know, like, Carl kind of put this in with all the program launches, but he talked about first before he talked anything about launches, and he said there are 365,000 coaches, and 21,000 of them enroll one person a month. And that is 9% of coaches change someone's life every month. And that was just like mind blowing to me. And so it kind of just sat with me on like, how can we as a team get that percent up? Because like, and these aren't even people hitting Success Club. This is like one challenge pack sold. And so there is a very, very small percentage of people even hitting Success Club. And that is such a disservice to the world and all the lives that we could change. So just sit with that and think about like, how can you talk to more people? How can you change more people's lives? How can you encourage your teams to do so? And just, run with it. So one thing that I think is missing on this slide, Ash, do you want me to talk about BOD groups?
Oh yeah, I didn't even add it. Yeah, talk about it.
I was just looking at my notes and that was like the first thing. So one thing that I'm really excited about is this concept of BOD groups. And it is going to make our lives so much easier. It's going to be basically the challenge tracker app that they're going to switch over to BOD groups. And that's like the name of it. And in the challenge tracker app, it's going to have Beachbody On Demand at the click of a button. It's going to have Share a Cart at the click of a button. It's going to have your Coach Online Office. It's going to have the challenge tracker. And then it's going to have the option for you to kind of like, you create this profile where you can look at, or you can create groups, and then anybody that's a customer under you can like add themselves to the group. So you could be running multiple groups at once, and like customer leads, anybody you sign up, they can look and see like, oh, Kate's running a nutrition group that requires Ultimate Portion Fix. I'm going to go buy Ultimate Portion Fix and be a part of her nutrition group. And it literally looks, it's so clean. It's coming out in April is what they're shooting for. It's so clean. Everything is in one place. Like, oh, they're also doing a CRM, which is what Google Streak is. They're putting a CRM into our Coach Online Office. So we can literally have a Google Streak attached to our customers, our prospects, and our coaches, so that we can, we don't have to transfer people over to like a second platform. So that's like probably the thing I'm most excited about, because I'm all about productivity and like organization. And I'm excited to be able to run more than one group, because right now I run like 1 or 2 groups maybe, because it's just a lot to run more than that. But when I feel like we have it all in the same place, it's going to be really beneficial to have all the different groups that like, here's all these options that my customers can choose from, and they're all in one place. And then you can also like post, you know, like a bio. It's kind of like a Facebook profile is what it looks like, or like an Instagram profile with like your groups and stuff. So it's super cool. Okay, so on the graphic, you guys see that there's 2B Mindset and Ultimate Portion Fix. If you don't already know this, when you purchase 2B Mindset or Ultimate Portion Fix, you can also purchase the certification for both of those, and then become either a 2B Mindset mentor or an Ultimate Portion Fix master coach. I can only speak for the master coach with UPF, because that's what I am. But basically every month they give you new content. You pay like, I think I pay like $20 or $30 a month to get like new recipes, new content to be trained on as a master coach, so I can help better serve my clients and customers. They do like an interview with people, and Autumn like talks to you about certain things that are happening like in the world today. So they decided that nutrition is only beneficial when it is used consistently and over a long period of time. So they are basically taking the master class and making it available to customers for only $19.99 a month, which is insane, you guys, because they're going to get access to Autumn. They're going to get new recipes. They're going to talk about like fad diets and like why we shouldn't do them. They're going to, yeah, it's like a Weight Watchers, but better. And like even Carl explained like the price, like Weight Watchers is $40 a month, and ours is $19.99, and it's way better content that you have access to Autumn or to Alana, depending on what it is. You know, he compared it to all these different like platforms, and he's like, this is going to be a way that if someone wants to focus on nutrition, they can get new fresh content every month. The new plant-based beach bar is delicious. It's vegan, so you can eat it. Sorry, Lauren, it still has nuts, so you can't have it. But it was, honestly, I feel like it tasted like just like the other chocolate ones. It didn't taste like plants or anything, because a lot of times when people think it's like plant-based or vegan, it tastes like way too clean, but it still tastes delicious. It was really good. It's really light. It just tastes like a normal beach bar. And that is going to be coming out in December. Another activewear essentials, like, I don't know, Squad launched this week. And they're going to continue launches like periodically throughout the next year. There's like an eco-friendly line if you guys watch the National Wake Up Call. Super cool. You guys, like, the best thing about the activewear is that you get PV off of it. And if you order it, you know, if you have a second business center, or let's say Curtis decides he wants to buy me a shirt, then I get like Team Cycle bonus from that. And then I can, when people, you know, ask me where I get my leggings from, I can send people a link and get commission from their purchases on the workout clothes that I wear. So, everyone in the chat saying hint, hint, Curtis. He's over there watching baseball right now. Okay.
So I just want to touch on that. I want to touch on that one more time. For any of you guys who have controlled business centers that ever need to be active, one way to make them active is through activewear. Okay. So that has a PV equivalent. I just wanted you to hear it again.
All right, so next we're going to talk about 4 weeks of the prep. I'm so stoked about this, you guys. 4 weeks of the prep is going to be amazing because it's going to literally prepare you for 6 weeks of the work. It is basically, Amwalo is like, everybody keeps asking me for a prep program and I don't have like something that I can give you. And so he went to Carl and he went to the development team and he was like, I want to do an intermediate like prep program for people who want to start 6 weeks of the work. And they were like, let's do it. So it is going to be launching on January 6th, I believe. So you can do 4 weeks of the prep and then you can go into 6 weeks of the work. You guys, that is an awesome challenge group opportunity for the new year, because this is someone who like, you know, instead of jumping right into 6 weeks of the work that requires a fit test, requires all of that, 4 weeks of the prep is really going to teach people like, how do you do a push-up? How do you do a pull-up? What is correct form? It's going to start to build up your stamina. He said it is still hard. It's still going to kick your butt, but it's going to get you ready for the like real butt kicking that you're going to have. 10 rounds. I'm so stoked about 10 rounds. It comes out at the end of the spring, like March, April, I believe. And it is a full boxing program with Joel. And it's boxing, I believe, 3 days a week and then lifting 2 days a week. Or maybe it's boxing 4 days a week and lifting, I don't know, something like that. But it is just boxing. It's not like Core de Force where it's mixed martial arts. It's boxing. It is like, I think 30 to 45 minutes is what he said. And it's going to be so amazing. You guys, boxing is huge right now. Like the fact, like I'm going to talk about bar in a second, but people pay good money to go to a boxing gym because that's what celebrities do. And that's what like the newest thing, going to like boutique gyms, bar and boxing is like a killer workout. And that's what a lot of people are doing right now. So it's just really cool to see Beachbody like keeping up with the times and seeing what people like and seeing what people enjoy and bringing it to their living rooms at a low cost and with accountability. Next is bar, which comes out you can purchase in December. The launch will actually be in January. It's kind of like if you guys were around for Transform 20, you could purchase it and then you waited a couple weeks. I'm sure we'll come up with like a prep calendar, but you purchase it, you wait a couple weeks, and then you start it. So bar, I didn't do the workout because I was speaking that morning, but I know like Ashley and a bunch of other people did it. They were like, it really kicked our butts, literally. It was so difficult. It definitely, if you guys aren't dancers or have never been in dance, it will surprise you how tired it makes you and how much you sweat. It is a 60-day long program. There are modifications for pregnancy, postpartum. It's low impact but high intensity, which I think is really cool because it shows people that you can get a good workout and you can burn a lot of calories without jumping around, without having the higher impact moves. So I think that's going to be a really, really good option for people. They also don't need a bar. You can use the back of a chair. You can use the back of your couch. You can use anything that you can hold on to, a countertop, anything like that. And then there's weights. So you're not going to need, anything like that. Okay. And then peppermint mocha Shakeology. So it is bomb. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to fool you. It literally tastes like a liquid Thin Mint, and it is so good. They didn't add anything to it because we got to try it at Leadership. They didn't blend it with anything except ice, almond milk, and then the Shakeology. And it was delicious, you guys. You need to get this in your hands on November 1st, and you need to start talking about it right now and building a wait list like we did with pumpkin spice so that when you're talking about it, you're getting people ready and buying on that week because it is going to sell out. I know that they only bought the same amount of boxes that they did for pumpkin spice last year, and it sold out in 8 hours. So you need to make sure you get your hands on it because there's not going to be a lot of it. Okay, I think that's it.
Kate, maybe give us like a little bit of an example of what you do to collect emails, just because I feel like some people are like, okay, but how do I collect emails? Yeah,
so what I would do is I would talk about like okay, I'm just going to tell you what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about like holiday drinks at Starbucks. I'm going to talk about how peppermint mocha is like one of my favorite holiday drinks at Starbucks. And I'm going to compare it to this peppermint mocha Shakeology that's coming out. I'm not going to say Shakeology. I'm going to say Superfood Shake. And I'm going to compare the two and be like, this is so much better for you. It's cheaper when you look at the day, like it's cheaper than like a grande peppermint mocha is when you break it down day by day. And I'm going to be talking about it on my stories and be like, drop your email, and I'm going to use the questions box. Drop your email if you're interested in snagging a box of this. It's limited. It's seasonal. It's a good way to like kick your chocolate or like your sweet tooth craving without putting so much sugar into your body. And I'm just going to talk about it all the time. I personally, with pumpkin spice, I actually I made up like a healthier version of pumpkin spice from Starbucks. So I'm going to do the same thing with peppermint mocha to get people like thinking about healthier versions. And I'm going to talk about how this is the healthiest version and to do that. And then also, if you already have any customers, reach out to all of your customers, especially the ones that are cafe latte and chocolate Shakeology subscribers, and tell them about what is to come, because they are going to want to get their hands on it if they like chocolate or cafe latte, especially because it does like have that mocha, coffee flavor to it, but it's like just the right amount of peppermint. So.
Yes, it is vegan. And then another idea, one of the ideas that I had was that I'm going to like make it in what I already have. So like in my Shakeology, like I had chocolate Shakeology, I'm going to do like peppermint and like with a cute straw. And then I'm going to collect emails that way. So like you could do this in different occurrences. Like do what Kate said with Starbucks, make your own at home and ask people if they like peppermint, if they'd be interested in, trying the seasonal flavor, or going to Starbucks and like getting a crappy actual drink and like sharing your love of peppermint and just do a poll and asking people if they like peppermint too. And then that way you can message them privately and ask them if they'd be interested in Shakeology. There's just so many like endless ways that you could do this. And in our launches, like what we do leading up to them, and this is what Kate spoke about, and she slayed the stage. If you have not watched her video in Team Elevate, I posted the recording. Everybody needs to watch it. It made me like the proudest coach in the world, but launches are her thing. So like go and watch it, especially because we have endless launches the next couple of months. But what we do the next 3 weeks is going to determine, or the next 2 weeks is going to determine how incredible our launch for pumpkins or for peppermint is in November. Okay. Also, one thing that Kate mentioned on stage, which I really wanted to touch on, was that she saved a pumpkin spice Shakeology from last year. She got her hands on it, and it really like helped her this year in collecting emails because she was able to make it. And so what I suggest, if you have one extra bag of pumpkin spice, save it in your pantry for next year. Save one or two in your pantry from peppermint and save it. And even if you do not like peppermint or you do not like pumpkin spice, you should be ordering it, because if you want your team to order it, you got to get on that bandwagon. Just like ordering the program so that you build knowledge around what it has to offer.
Ash, I want to bring up too, like I'm not a pumpkin fan. Like I don't eat pumpkin pie. I eat the crust, but I don't love the filling. I'm not a huge pumpkin person, and that's why I did not purchase. I don't drink pumpkin spice lattes. I'm not a fan. So that's why I didn't purchase it last year, and it totally screwed me, you guys. Like we didn't get any team volume from it. My income didn't go up at all. All these other coaches were getting people hooked up with pumpkin spice, and I wasn't, because I was like, I don't like pumpkin. Then I decided that I was going to just try it, because I want my team to purchase it and try it, and I want my customers to try it. And I'm literally obsessed with it. I bought 5 boxes in one of my business centers, and I'm about to, until they run out, buy another 5, because it's what I drink every single day. So even if you say you don't like it, you have to try it, because it's going to surprise you. Like I don't like pumpkin, but I love pumpkin spice Shakeology. So you have to just
fresh. It's not full of shit either, so it's like a fresh taste, if that makes sense. Yeah, but the peppermint was incredible. It was so good. All right, so I'm just going to talk about my calendar. The 3 of us were sitting there when we were just listening to all the launches, and as leaders, we were thinking 5 months in advance, how are we going to use these launches to our advantage in our businesses? And as incredible leaders, guys, you should know what's coming next. You should not just be flying off the seat of your pants and saying oh, I think I'll start Transform 20 tomorrow. You really should be coming you should really be knowing what's coming within the next couple of months. And so with the launches, it's really important for you to have something, number one, to invite to talk about, and for you to just know that every single morning, you know exactly what you're going to do without logging into Beachbody and like being left without a routine. Okay. So here's my plan. You do not need to follow me to a T. The reason I'm doing it in this way is because of certain events in my life and because of the launch of 6 weeks of the work. Tyler actually is doing 6 weeks of the work, and I told him about the prep, and he's like, thank God, because I don't think you're going to be able to do it. He was straight up like, I don't think you are going to survive through 6 weeks of the work. I'm really happy he developed a 4 weeks of the prep because a lot of us need it. That's not to say you can't start it right now, but just use 4 weeks of the prep to your advantage, because truly, like Kate said, it is an incredible program to start the new year off with, because it's getting them 4 weeks to prep themselves. Fitness isn't easy, and it shouldn't be easy, but it should be something that gets them ready. Tyler also said this is a program that he's never seen before. And if people truly do follow this, he's seen me do programs. He's seen programs left and right. He's dabbled in programs. And he said that this is a program that's going to change your entire life if you let it. And for Tyler to say that, like that is actually big, because he's gone through it and he's seen like his body totally change, which hasn't happened from the Beachbody program. I know, new top coach. Okay, so what I'm going to do, on 11/5, I finish Morning Meltdown, and that's our superstar retreat. So I'm going to give myself 6 days to probably do different programs in there. And then that following Monday, I'm going to start Transform 20. Now, I'm starting Transform 20 because it's a 6-week program. Also because Transform 20 is the program that changed my entire life last year, and I need 6 weeks of Shanti before the end of the year, and I'm going to get shredded. Also, it's going to kick my ass because it's going to get me ready for 6 weeks of the work. For any of you who have never done Transform 20, it's a really great one if you're finishing Morning Meltdown and you do want to wait for 6 weeks of the work to start 4 weeks of the prep. Transform 20 is an incredible program. Now, I know Kate mentioned that she's going to do 21-day fix real time and then 21-day fix extreme. I think Michelle's going to tell us in a second. I think Michelle's going to do core to force, which is awesome. And I think that's a really great idea, because so often we get in this space of like, oh my God, we have to do all of the new programs. But for your business, it could really help to prove to people that in your back pocket, you do have a lot of incredible programs. On Beachbody On Demand, you have endless programs. So don't be afraid to go back for 6 weeks and try a program that you've never done before. Maybe you've only been a coach for a year and there are endless programs that you don't even know exist. Go and dabble into them and prove to your followers that, you know, they have a huge library of workouts. But I'm going to be doing Transform 20. So I'm going to start on the 11th, 11/11, and then end on 12/29. I also get surgery in there. I'm getting LASIK, so I need off for one of those weeks. So my days might be a little bit thrown off compared to yours. But that takes me to the end of the year. And then on January 6th, I start 4 weeks of the prep. I finish 4 weeks of the prep on February 1st. I'm going to jump right into 6 weeks of the work on February 3rd. Finish 6 weeks of the work on March 15th. Start bar on 3/16, March 16th. And then finish bar on February, March, April, May 15th. And then start 10 rounds on May 14th. So you might be running into the problem that you might be doing bar before 10 rounds comes out, just like you might have been doing Morning Meltdown while another program comes out. Don't freak out. That's okay. There's ways to leverage your launch. But I would just say my challenge for you is to get some plans on paper. Now, this might change a couple days based on my health or whatever, but this is a solid routine for me to just be in this mental space of I know what's next, okay? So I challenge you to know what's coming next, okay? All right, Michelle, which one do you want to talk about? You want to talk about thrips, top coach habits, or compliance? Probably not compliance. Are you here? Yeah, she's on.
Yeah, I'm right here.
What do you want to talk about?
Not thrips or compliance. No thanks. Top coach habits.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so at one point, I walked away with Ash at one of the seminars, and I looked at her and I said, there's no mother effing reason why I am not able to have a team of top coaches. And like literally it gets me so choked up thinking that I wasted so much time in my business feeling so sorry for myself because I was not willing to do the work in order to be a successful coach. Like, it just makes no sense. So sitting there this weekend, like, I just hope that the things that I tell you guys tonight just really just like kind of gut checks you, because I kept getting punched repeatedly, like, oof, that hurt, oof, oh my gosh, but it was so good. So a couple qualities, there was 7 of the qualities that a top coach has. So, and it's really funny because, well, I'm on my phone right now because my Zoom on my computer is broken, but on my screen from this Build to Last workbook, if you guys haven't bought the workbook that goes along with Built to Last, I really suggest it, especially if you're trying to up your leadership. But I have a thing in the back of my phone and it's my screensaver, and they started off with saying, you know, I have the ability to change people's lives, and that is my core purpose. And that's like what I want you to go into thinking when you're looking at the top qualities of a coach. So the one is be confident. And that is in 3 ways. Be confident in yourself. So are you doing the personal development to help you become the best version of yourself? Are you confident in the second thing, products? If you do not know that there's an FAQ about all of the different ingredients and in the products that we offer, like, you need to get back there and look that up. Be your best leader, like, be your dream coach. Go back there and do the research about these products. And then the third thing, the compensation plan. If you can't sit here and like tell us what this compensation plan is, you need to go in the FAQs and do that too. And that to me was a hard pill to swallow, because for me, I need somebody to tell me, show me, and then I can do it. But in this business and in the world of entrepreneurship, nothing is given to you. You have to be willing to go outside your comfort zone and look things up. So be confident in yourself, in the products, and then the compensation plan. The second quality is you're not perfect, and that's okay. So failing forward. You don't have to have, like I said yesterday on my Instagram story, I don't have the most beautiful gym in my house. Like, I don't have an awesome garage gym like Ash has. I don't have a full set of rack of weights. I don't have the cutest matching outfit. I'm not perfect, and that's okay. That doesn't make me not a good coach. That has nothing to do with it. So be okay being not perfect, because perfection doesn't exist, period. Number 3, I cannot stress this enough. I'm getting hot. I gotta take this sweatshirt off. Number 3 is being consistent. There was so many top coaches that walked up on that stage and said, there's so many coaches that would be better than I am. But the difference was I was willing to be consistent and stick around. And I know Ashley's talked about this recently, is that we're such in a rush to get success. We're such in a rush to make that 6-figure income. Like I've said to you guys before, if you signed up 10 coaches this week, would you even know what to do with them? Like, do you have the things in place in order to give them the best experience that they deserve? So being consistent so you can have these things in place will make you a top coach. Now, number 4, coachable. You have to be willing to hear things that aren't the best. Like I said, I was sitting there in leadership and there was things that were being said to me, well, to all of us, but were just like punching me in the stomach, like, oh, I need to do better at that. Oh, I'm like guilty of that. Oh, you know, and if you're not willing to sit there and say, I could do better at that, you're never going to learn. You never want to be that person where somebody comes to you because you ask for help and then they give you the help, they give you the answer, and then you still think that you know what's best. Like, that's not you being coachable. I seen, you know, Lindsay Matway, the top earner in this company, come and sit with Ashley, Kate, and I, and like, I know she knows them, but like, talk to me, a newer coach, and ask me questions, because that's what a coachable coach does, but that's what a top coach does. That's a quality that they have. And clearly, like, she's proof of that, right? Number 5 is being creative. paying attention to what's working in your business. So looking on your Instagram profile, looking at posts that have worked and posts that have like, oh, like that didn't work. What kind of value was that bringing? And then looking at your insights and stuff like that. Like I'll talk more about that stuff like probably a later time, and so will Ashley and Kate within their own team pages. But just paying attention to the things that bring value and that drives your engagement up, drives your credibility up, like so many different things, but you have to be willing to pay attention to that. Number 6 is have fun. Like if you are thinking that this business is stressful, that this is no longer like fun to you, you have to change something. Like Tony Robbins says, if something isn't working, it's not working. And you have to be willing to change that to have a good time. So whether it be, jump on your story and dance to some music or tag your friends. Like I'm like the love of hip hop. Like that's my jam. And I know that's like Maddie's jam too. And we'll tag each other and stuff. Have fun, whatever fun looks like to you. Maybe dancing isn't your thing. Maybe hip hop isn't your thing. Maybe country's your thing. Whatever it is, just have fun. Because when you start feeling like this is a job and it's not fun anymore, that's what will pull you from this business. And I've been guilty of that. But then I have to remember, like, and Ashley said this weekend, can you believe we're literally making an income out of taking pictures and like instilling belief into other people? So don't forget that when you're jumping on your stories, that you need to be having fun. If you go on there and you're like, yeah, I just like worked out and my kid's like over there, like, oh my God, shoot me. That's so fucking boring. Like put a smile on your face, jump around, have fun. And number 7, be genuine. Be the person that you are on social media in real life. Like I'm so excited that so many people are coming to Rochester so I can meet all of you guys. But just be genuine when you respond to people. Be nice, like bless and release people that say no. You don't have to, when something is said negatively to you, maybe on Instagram, you don't need to put that back onto your social media and attract that. Just be genuine in all aspects of your life. And truly, like all of these 7 qualities, I've met the top coaches like personally now this weekend, and they eat, sleep, and breathe these qualities. And no wonder why they are where they are. So again, number 1 is be confident in yourself, products, and the compensation plan. Number 2, you don't need to be perfect. Number 3, be consistent. Number 4, be coachable. Number 5, be creative. Number 6, have fun. And number 7, be genuine.
I love it. And so for those of you who didn't catch my post in Team Elevate the other day, so Michelle was my guest at the event this weekend. And when you are a 5-star elite coach, you qualify to bring a guest of your own. And I brought her this weekend, and I thought that she could go to one of the events. She couldn't go to like our elite mastermind on Wednesday. And so we're walking in the room and somebody stops her and they're like, oh, you can't come in. I'm sorry. And so she like gets teary eyed. I'm like, oh, whatever. Just go to the pool, Michelle. And she like looks at me. She's like, oh, I don't want to go to the pool, like with those eyes. And I'm like, okay. Then she's like, I think I'm just going to sit out here and try to listen. I'm like, all right. And so I'm in there and I'm like frustrated because I really wish she was next to me, like listening and taking in all this information. And like an hour goes by and she messaged me. She's like, I'm in the back, bitches. And I'm like, what? And I turn around, her pink ass head is just like sitting in the back row sitting. I'm like, oh my God, she snuck in. I'm going to be in trouble. My coach account's going to get canceled. Like I'm a rule follower. So like I'm thinking all of these things. And then I walk out and she's like, and she said that, so Kim Carver, who is this guy actually, Kim Carver, he's one of the most incredible things that has ever happened to Beachbody. He is the most just incredible soul. He has a handicapped child and he like tells a lot of stories about him. He's just like an incredible dad. He's very hands-on with the 5 stars and above, and we're just so lucky to have him. But anyway, Michelle didn't know who he was. Actually, she called him Mike, I think, or something. And like I was like, I don't know who you're talking about. And she like was describing him. I'm like, I don't know who you're talking about. And she showed me him. But anyway, so Kim goes out to the bathroom and he notices her sitting there with her ear up against the door. And he's like, this is weird. He goes, takes care of his business. He comes back. She's still there. Her ear's up against the door. She's plugging one and she is taking notes. He literally like did the entire thing. He reenacted the entire thing for us at the party that night. And he goes to her, he was like, why aren't you in there? And she said, I'm Ashley Feldeisen's guest. Like they said that it's only an elite mastermind, I can't go in. And he goes, you sitting there, having your ear plugged, taking notes is an indication that you need to be in that room. And I was sitting in that room, and, you know, I was surrounded by, at this point, we know a lot of the coaches who were surrounded by the other top coaches in the company. And I was surrounded by some of them who were on their phones, who was checking their Facebook, who was talking to each other. And I know the coaches who do hold those traits of the top 10 or those top 7 traits. And I know the coaches who don't. And the ones who were there texting, the ones who it was more important to send invites than listen to their CEO speak the mission into them. They didn't belong in that room. And there was somebody on the outside who did. And it was just a really special moment. It was something that Michelle will always tell that story forever. But it's so true. Like, not everybody in that room is going to stay in that room. I guarantee you. The coaches who got to elite and who aren't still holding those traits of the 7 top coaches, they're not going to stay there, because you guys are going to take their places. You guys are going to get there, and you're going to hold those traits. And I'd be damned if I'm not somebody sitting there taking notes, listening to my CEO talk, or, you know, bringing home all of the skills that I can to, you know, to pass along to you guys, like Kate and Michelle have graciously done as well. And I came home and I told Tyler, I said, it's just really cool to have leaders who effing want this. Like, I was surrounded with Kate and Michelle this weekend, and they are just hungry, and it's really incredible to see. And I just can't wait to get a whole freaking crew there next year. All right, Kate, compliance is boring. Do you want to talk about it, or do you want me to talk about it? Okay, so basically, guys, I'm just going to really quickly go over compliance. It's nothing you haven't heard before, but literally, guys, just if you're signing your significant other up, they need to know that they are a coach, okay? He came on for 30 minutes. He gave us the entire same speech he told us last year. Just make sure that, don't sign up your effing dog. Somebody signed up their dog, not on our team, but somebody signed up their dog and the account was canceled. Like he said, just don't be silly when it comes to these things. If you sign up your partner, make sure that they know. If you sign up your parent, make sure that they know. Don't say things like, I signed my spouse up to make more money. Don't use that terminology. They are a coach on your team, and because of that, you have an income advantage, okay? You don't need to ever say those things, but if the phone ever rang, which it probably won't, but if it ever did, and Tyler answered, Tyler would know damn well that he is a coach, and he has a business under Beachbody, right? You can only sign up your parent, your partner, or your child. Say it with me. Parent, partner, or child. Your child cannot have 4 legs and bark. Okay? All right. Moving on. Oh, so Thrips. I'm not going to talk about Thrips. It'll be a later time. I'll make a video later.
Can I just do a one-liner from Thrips? Because Curtis walked away with this. And so I feel like if Curtis was paying attention enough, this was good. So basically the whole Thrips concept was it was about getting in defense mode with your business and not staying on offense mode. And he said, are you trying to win, or are you trying to not lose? And he said, if you are continuing to try and not lose, you will never win. And when I think about that, I think of rank advancement. If you're always defending your rank, you will never get ahead. But if you continue with consistency and you're doing the things every day with the intention of winning, whatever that looks like for you, you will continue to move forward instead of constantly be defending what you have done. And I noticed this a lot with coaches. They get stuck in this mindset of defense, 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 and it causes so much anxiety and stress that they just give up. So if you just continue to stay on offense, you continue to move forward, and you try to win instead of not lose, I think you're just going to be in a better place in your business all the time.
Yeah. And in your life, take responsibility, take action responsibility. I'm reading 10X Rule right now, and he just talks about in anything in life, just take responsibility for everything that you do. And just always apply action to it. You're going to be a better partner. You're going to be a better coach. You're going to be a better leader. You're going to be a better friend. But thrips are bugs that kill flowers. But I will go live and I will talk about it. Or maybe I think I can find the video and I can share it in Team Elevate. He did share it. So I'll do that. Okay, so Really quickly, I want to break down the keynote speakers. I'm going to take Seth Madison if either one want to take Dan Thurman. It's kind of funny. So Dan Thurman sat at our table the last night at the party, and it was a cool opportunity. Michelle was like talking his ear off for I don't even know how long, but I want to talk about Seth Madison because I really liked him. He was the elite mastermind guy, so I have to think all the way back to like 6 days ago, which is kind of hard for me to do. But I really like him because he was really speaking to like the future ready leader. He's talking to, I know, both of their teeth are so pretty. They're very good looking. Beachbody was like, let's find the best looking keynote speakers that we can. But Seth was talking to the leaders in the crowd who are preparing to be the future ready leaders. And so he talked about these 3 things. He really broke down elevating influence, activating growth, and leading the way. And he prefaced his entire presentation by basically saying that a leader who can come into an office and say these things is an incredible leader. Gang, I don't know where we're going, but I do have the confidence that we, as a group, are going to step confidently into a time of evolvement, into massive growth. And so I can't tell you that we're going to be a top 10 team. I can't tell you that every single one of you guys are going to make 6 figures. I can't tell you that, every single one of you guys are going to hit Success Club, or that I'll stay in the best shape of my life, or that I'll make $1 million. I can't tell you what I'm going to do, what we're going to do as a team, but I can tell you that collectively, as your leader, I'm going to evolve with you. I can tell you that as your mentor, I'm going to keep growing, and I hope to pass that on to you guys. And so he just talks about being this future ready leader and how we prepare ourselves for massive growth. And so there are these parts of our brains. There are three major parts of our brains. There are the reptilian, the limbic, and the neocortex parts of our brain. And I really want to focus on this reptilian part of our brain. It's called the reptilian barrier. And so basically what this part of our brain asks, and this is something really important, I think, for all of us to remember, and this is where my question came from the other day in Team Elevate, but this reptilian part of our brain basically asks us 2 things in every situation, in any situation. Am I safe, and do you care about me? And so this part of our brain, in any relationship, in any conversation, in any new scenario, we're always asking ourselves, am I safe, and do you care about me? And so in our businesses, it's so important for people to feel that way coming in, but it's also important for us to feel that way as leaders and start to cultivate that. And so he asked us in the crowd, he said, I'm so hot. What is the first time in your life that you felt like you actually belonged in something? And I want you guys to put it in the chat. But in your entire life, what do you feel like was the first time that you ever belonged? And I can tell you right now, I did not ever feel like I belonged until I started Team Elevate, and we became, and it wasn't even when I first started Team Elevate, it was when I started finding the me's of the world. I don't feel like I've ever belonged in anything, not on a cheerleading squad, not on the soccer team, like not in college. I never belonged until I created something where I truly felt safe, other than my relationship with Tyler, because I felt safe and like I belonged there. But really for me, it was when I started leading people who made me feel safe and who made me feel like I was a part of something, like I mattered. And so I really want you to get in this space where if you don't feel that way, number one, you have to work your way to feel that way, but also it's time for you to find people that make you feel incredible. Stop trying to speak to the masses, guys. You need to hone in on the one person that you want to attract. I was talking to Hannah about this last night. Stop taking everybody who has a pull. Stop talking so broad on your social media and talk to who you were before Beachbody. Because when you do, I did it for 2 years, and so I attracted all of the wrong people. And in those 2 years, I did attract some of the right people, if any of you guys are on this call. But in the first 2 years, I was such a broad speaking coach where I would take anything with a pulse. Once I honed in on really speaking to the Ashley pre-Beachbody, I talked to the girl who was frustrated in her career. I talked to the girl who has this massively long commute and who despises her career, or this girl who has 50 pounds to lose, this girl who can't get out of her parents' basement, who wants to, thrive in her and buy a house on the water, right? I'm talking to this girl, and you need to talk to her. I think about Holly Hillier. I've been talking about her a lot tonight, but I think about her, and she's this distinct person who her husband basically made all of the money, or he didn't make the money, but he dictated where they had to move year after year after year. And so she speaks to the woman who wants to put some roots in the ground. She speaks to the wife who wants to be home with her babies. And so because she knows who she's speaking to, she's able to just become more fluent on her social media. And so that's my challenge for you. Become a person where you can bring people in and you can create a sense of belonging on your team. Because if you're just taking everybody in who has a pulse, they're not going to feel like they belong. They're not going to feel like you care about them, because I've had coaches come in who I can't relate to, and I didn't care about them. It wasn't something that I wanted to, didn't want to be around them. I didn't want to pass the baton on to them. So really think about that moving forward. Building a fearless organization. That's all I want to say about that. I want to share all of these things in Team Elevate, and maybe I will over time because they were so good. But do either of you guys want to talk about Dan Thurman, or can I move on? Okay. He was awesome. He just talked about basically balance in our lives and how truly, like, you should be imbalanced all the time. You should never feel balanced, okay? Plain and simple. Like, out of your comfort zone, being imbalanced is a good thing. All right, and then we had some top coach trainings. And I want to be on here. We're running out of time. I want to be on here forever and ever and ever and talk about all of these coach trainings. But Erin talked about how you lead with success partners and how to really maximize your business with working with other people, which I think is huge. She talked about, actually, she was the person who gave me the idea of hosting a coach sneak peek on an info page. And so yesterday I developed a coach info page, and it's worked really well. I actually signed 2 coaches up today because of it, because it was like all of, it was like everything in one place. And I will post that in Team Elevate tomorrow. Mandy talked about starting coaches, right? Mandy talked about like getting coaches started right. Kate talked about launches, and she crushed it about launches. That video is in Team Elevate. You are doing yourself a disservice if you don't watch that video. And I'm saying that even if she wasn't my coach, I would tell you to straight up watch it because it was so good. Oh, Elizabeth Harkey. See, I've never really talked to Elizabeth Harkey in my life before, but she's a super big mindset person. All 3 of us were like dripping, like we were crying so hard by the end of it. She was the last speaker. And basically, I'm just going to reiterate something really quick. She was at her retreat, at her superstar retreat, which is kind of ironic because ours is in 2 weeks. But she was at her superstar retreat, and one of her coaches looks over at her while she's sitting on the couch, surrounded by her coaches, looking out at her farm, like this life she's created. And one of her coaches looks over at her and says, "Liz, like, this is it." And she's like, "What's it?" She's like, "You did it. This is what you dreamt of for so long. Like, you have the house, you have the farm, you have the team." And we just started bawling because it is so true. You guys have these massive goals, and there's going to be a time where you get there and you have it, and it's going to be so special. But you better bet your bottom dollar that Liz didn't get pissed because she, had a coach cancellation form go in. And I want you to really understand that long-term house, that long-term vision, the paying off your college debt, the little things right now will never amount to that, okay? Stop getting frustrated about the things you can't control, because there are things that are going to bring tears to your eyes down the line, I promise you, okay? Brittany just talked about, when your business is in like going through ebbs and flows, what to do. Holly talked about exactly what she talked about on our team call a couple months ago. She just talked about like how to speak to your avatar, which was incredible. Go to my YouTube channel if you want to watch that entire thing. It's amazing. And I think that Jamie Innes's speech was the number 1 thing that I took home, because I want to be a Jamie Innes. Jamie brought 6 of her own personally sponsored elite coaches with her this year. 6 PS coaches, elite, with her this year. So they asked her to give a presentation on how she did that. And guys, it was so stupid simple, like so simple. She just basically ingrained this worker mentality into her coaches, believed in them, helped them push forward. And the one thing that's holding you back from where you are to where you want to go in this business, from hitting elite, like I want you guys to be my elite coach. I want to bring a whole effing gang there next year. I want to go from bringing 3 coaches to like 20 coaches next year. And there's no reason that we can't. Like, yes, a freaking squad with us next year. And yet Jamie was like rolling around with like 15 of her own coaches. And I'm like, that could be us. And there is nothing that is the only thing that's probably holding you back is action and belief that you can do it. And I need for you to look at our stories. Look at these stories to our normal human beings. We all have heartbeats. We just have, they just have really pretty makeup and hair on, but they all look like us. They all look like us when it's 9 o'clock and we're sitting on the couch watching Netflix. We all have the same 24 hours. It's just about what you do with those 24 hours. Okay. But I want you to be with us next year. So I think it's October 14th I could be wrong. It's either October 10th or October 14th is our leadership retreat next year. It's going to be back in Arizona, the same exact resort. And it was breathtaking. We walked outside and I was like, I feel like we're on the Success Club trip. I feel like we're in Mexico or something. It was just incredible. They went above and beyond for the parties. Like, we were spoiled rotten. So in order to be there with us, you do need to lock in 5-star by July of 2020, I think is the deadline. Don't mark my words, but that should be your goal, to lock it in by July of 2020. And there is no reason why you can't. There is no reason that you guys cannot be one of those coaches on this trip with us, coming home on a call like this and applying these strategies to your team. My goal is to build a freaking squad of elite coaches, of 5-star plus coaches. And whether you're coming with me or without me, I'm going. So I cannot wait to see who's there with us next year. But thank you, Kate and Michelle, for taking the time to crush this with me. I hope you guys have taken some things home, or some things that you can apply to your business. Tomorrow I will share a little bit about my new coach. I made my new coach info group on my Squarespace account, and I'll share that with you. But I hope you guys have an incredible rest of your night, and this recording will be shared tomorrow for you to share with your teams for anybody who missed it. All right, guys, have a good night. Bye.